son died when I was little, 5.5. There was this process of being unwell, and then one day, just the disappearance of the person that I loved so much and that I needed maybe the most at those days. I remember asking, where's my mother? And the answer I got was, Allah took your mother. It was really not an explanation. It led me to struggle with the God during my teenage years later on. But we are now okay.
So how did you actually feel when you were told that?
So I was trying to make sense of it, but it was all cloudy because the concept of Allah, like, it's something important and holy, and doing this, why I couldn't make sense of it.
Culturally as well, I think in my culture, well, not so much now, but before, children were totally excluded. When someone died, there wasn't spoken, they were shielded from someone's death and the whole funeral process. But I found that young people that I met after, it's quite damaging. Suddenly they're shut away.
Yeah, I mean, instead of kind of being something normal and natural, it becomes something kind of hidden away and rather shameful.
Dark, yeah.
It's kind of, it's loaded with feelings that are actually very damaging, as you say. I think that's true. I mean, it's very similar to what happened to me when I was young, which is a long time ago now. But my mother died, and from the moment that she died, my father never said to us and never referred to her ever again. The only way to do it was to carry on as if nothing had happened. But the terrible thing about it was that, I mean, it's a sort of like a second death, really. By not being talked about, the person is killed again, you know, it's kind of negated again. So one of the reasons I think about death is because I kind of try to, you know, I fight against that, which has been an influence like you sort of my whole life.
I identify as Black British Black, and I've been fortunate to been invited or been asked to go to quite a few different funerals from different cultural backgrounds. So, and I've taken, I suppose, something from each. I'm not defined by how we deal with death. I think I've taken away how individual death is.
Well, it shows the importance that people feel that somebody should be there to accompany them almost, so that the person doesn't die, doesn't pass alone.
So while I was visiting India, I've been into a specific city. They do these burning ceremonies. It was fascinating for me to observe and see their relationship with the death one. It was there on the wooden stock, and it was burning. There's like a huge fire underneath, and they've been there for hours and hours and hours, accompanying that person, just transitioning from this earth, this like elements, to something else, to air, I don't know.
Well, I had a recent experience of Orthodox Christianity in Eastern Europe, in Bulgaria. And this was a mother of a friend of mine who died, was buried and had the funeral. But there, 40 days later, they have another ceremony. And in that 40 days, the person's room and their clothes and all their stuff is sort of left untouched. And it's during that time that the soul gradually disappears. And I thought that was just great. You know, it speaks to the fact that death is not just an event, it's a process. It takes time to happen and to understand.
In my culture, I mean, obviously you might have 4 or 5 siblings. 2 of them are feeling okay about celebrating it openly. The other 2 just want to disappear or just be sad or not want to see anybody. And it's how the outer family and friends not coax them, but get them into the practice saying, look, it's the last time, you know, you're going to see them, and if you don't see them in the casket or don't look in the coffin, you might regret it. That's how my culture looks at it. And it has happened. Some people don't want to go and don't turn up, and they end up a few months later at the graveside, regretting not celebrating the end of life. For me personally, I don't think it stops there. I think the soul, your soul, goes somewhere. You don't just die.
You mean the spirit's still kind of around you,
Yeah.
still around us?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never really had much of a sense of the afterlife. Even when I was very young and I was going to Sunday school, and then we kind of get an image of heaven or God and the angels, I never really believed it. But I have another sense of an afterlife, which is really that your existence carries on. The effect you have in the world is still there, and people remember you.
I also know what's popular. It's like yearly celebrations or anniversaries. The person's birthday or the day they were buried, people will gather at a certain spot together to remember a year, commemorate the person.
So you do that in your culture?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, in that sense, in which way it happens, it doesn't matter, but gathering together with the communities, with the families, it's a way to hold each other, I guess,
You
right?
mean just by people coming together?
Yeah, like in funerals or
Yeah.
like partying after. I think what's most helpful and supportive to accompany someone who is going bereavement, it's just listening with the whole heart. There can be positive emotions, nice memories, good days, but also not being able to understand why this is happening. The most supportive thing is just to be there with all of those emotions and listening. In my case, remembering my mother and the feeling of being with her and listening the memories from my loved ones. Somehow it changed the shape itself. It's not dark anymore, it's more colorful. There's beautiful smells coming with it, but somehow it's happening because I'm able to talk about it, because there's a community, there are family members and friends who are willing to be there for me.